one of the big tasks in our training program is to get a certain number in puzzle survival. For my band, the 2400s, there's 3 levels. You got to get 61 first, 64, and then 67. Okay, black to move. So we have an endgame here, obviously going this way according to the coordinates. And this pawn is hanging. So we do have a choice here, right? There's immediate g2 and there's b3. Both moves are possible because if b3 takes and b2, white's not stopping the pawn. g2 though, there's king f2, and there it seems like white's just stopping both pawns. So it looks like b3 is the way to go. Bishop will move. Then we can push this one, king f2, king h2, bishop e5 check, king h1, and then white's not stopping the g pawn. So let's go ahead and push this one. All right, king e2. Honestly, actually very interesting defense. If you push this one, king f2, then there's b2. Yeah, takes, and then king h2. But I'm surprised that's the only way. Yeah, I guess any other move is not good. If you played king g2, then white's playing here, and then taking your pawn next move and stopping the second pawn. So I think, yeah, we push here first. If bishop stops, then we're running both. So king has to come up, and then we can distract the bishop. King h2, bishop e5 check, king h1, and white can't stop the motion. So g2. Let's give up this one, and let's push. Okay, white to move. What is happening here? Black just played this move. Looking for forcing moves. We don't have anything tactical. Our bishop's on f1. It's supposed to be on c4. It's supposed to be queen takes f7 mate. But looks like we don't have this. We're going to have to think defensively. This seems like an annoying threat. Knight h3 feels like a very nice forcing move to counter this, hitting the queen while also defending the bishop on f1. And how is black going to respond to that? Where does the queen even go? Hard to find a good square for the queen. Black is going to play some g6 move probably to disrupt our forces. But then minimum we can take the queen, they take our queen, we take the bishop on e3, and we're up a piece in that final position. Queen d2 nicely covered. Yeah, let's put it on the board. Oh, knight f6 this way, but I think same thing. We can take knight takes h5. Always look at just the direct taking the queen. You don't start with the fancy, oh, queen takes f7. No. Start with just the direct. What happens if I just take the queen? Okay, they take the queen, we take the bishop, piece up. And then if that wasn't good, then you would look at the fancy queen moves. All right, next one, black to move. If this is a blitz game, I'm just castling. But since this is like a tactic, I guess we have to look for active moves like queen g3, for example, and then maybe some bishop g4 winning the queen. Okay, so queen g3, let's calculate. I think critical seems to be king d2, not walk into bishop g4. And then can we come up with some kind of follow-up? I don't know, it's not so obvious at first glance. Queen f2 check, there's bishop e2. And it's not clear that black is like winning there. Let's look at some other options. You know, now I'm noticing that bishop g4 is actually a very annoying threat, even if it's not with check. But there's still queen takes d5, so the white queen is not totally trapped. But let's think. Queen g3, king d2, bishop g4, queen takes d5, queen f2 check. Now white can't block with the bishop. And in fact, white is losing this bishop with check, and that seems like, yeah, the king is actually just going to be getting mated on the light squares there, like king d3, queen takes f1, and then the bishop comes in. So yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Really hard to argue with that one. All right, check to the queen. All right, white gives up. That's fine. Yeah, bishop g4 didn't trap the queen there exactly, but queen f2 check was then going to be a very dangerous threat. Okay, classic millennial trick. Queen takes f7 check followed by queen f8. This poor knight just in the way of the king. Let's take that one. Next one here, classic double attack. A little bit easier than some of the ones we've already seen, yeah. But they do that to you, you know, keep you on your toes. Are there any other forcing moves or checks in the position? Not really, right? So queen d4 and then bishop takes c4, hitting white's queen with the tempo there. All right, queen f2. Now here though, definitely we should be precise because we can either take first or we can play bishop takes c4. My instinct is to take here because if white trades our queen, then we recapture with the pawn and we hit the knight. It's very important to note, you know, this one is hanging as well, yeah? So if we trade queens first, rook takes f2, bishop takes c4, white wins the piece back. No good. So bishop c4 first. If white takes, we recapture. Queen is pinned, so that they can't take the bishop in that position. And if they take our queen, take back, rook takes f6. We're taking on c3 at the end. So let's take. Bishop takes f6. Let's recapture. Let's recapture. And that's game. Okay, knight b6. White to play. All right, so we have a nice attack, discovered attack available against the queen on d8. So a lot of different options with the knight. The first thing I want to look at is some kind of knight f5 because this threatens queen takes g7, which feels like a possible mate threat, yeah? So knight f5 hits the queen. Of course, our rook is hanging. Knight takes d5. It's possible, but then queen takes g7 check. King e8. And we can take on g8 there. King has to go to d7. And then we have rook takes knight winning the queen. Which looks like GG. So pretty straightforward line. On knight f5, I mean, black can also move the queen. Queen c7, for example. Then I imagine either rook d7 or rook d8. Both are possibly good. Let's see. Rook d7 feels right, but they might both be good. Rook d8 check takes, queen takes g7. Maybe we're running out of pieces there. King e8. Actually, I don't see the mate there. No mate, yeah. So let's be careful here. We can also keep in mind maybe there's other moves other than knight f5, but knight f5 just feels very, very tempting. So knight f5, queen c7. Let's say rook d7 in that position. Running queen g7, and then if knight takes d7, queen takes g7, king e8. There's queen takes g8 check, but I'm pausing because there's also rook takes d7, queen takes d7, queen takes g8 mate. So I think white's just winning there. Queen takes g8 probably also just like winning on the spot as well. Okay, so yeah, knight f5 looks good. So let's play this one because we've calculated that it's the best move. All right, queen c7, destructive commentary. And now again, we want this kind of obstruction tactic with rook d7. This one's pretty thematic, but of course you always want to make sure that it kind of works. If queen takes d7, rook takes d7, knight takes, then queen takes g7, and yeah, we're just winning way too much material for the queen. All right, queen takes played, and let's take on g7 here, and yeah, white, I mean, in that position, black still had rook in two pieces, but white was about to pick up a knight, then pick up the rook, and yeah, just end the game. White to play here, we do not have a lot of pieces, admittedly, queen and knight, so it feels like we're definitely just playing for mate here. So this is an option. This is also very much an option. And we're just gonna have to calculate this out to see which one is leading to mate here. So let's think for a sec. I'll give you guys a chance to think about it as well. So queen e4 check. If king d6, queen takes e6 is mate, right? So queen e4 check, king b6, queen d4 check, sliding over, c5, queen takes c5. So king c6 instead, and then queen c5 anyway, yeah? So this one, and then the face-to-face checkmate, as I think is easy to understand enough, with the knight, hero of the game, doing all the work, covering the d7. This is like the guy who like does one thing on a group project and signs his name first. I did all right, and it's mate. Looks like we didn't miss any defenses. Okay, next one, black to play. Oh boy, we're in check. First things first. So we could move our king possibly, but it also makes sense to think about rook takes e6 as kind of the first option. But if we take this one, what's happening exactly? Rook takes c3, we lose the queen, and I'm not seeing a good move there. Yeah, looks like we're actually gonna have to just move the king instead, because that doesn't look like it's working at all. All right, so where are we moving the king? We have three serious options and like two weird options. Yeah, so we're not going to look at these two moves because like why would you do that, right? But if we don't see anything clear in the first three moves, then maybe we'll consider the dumb squares. Okay. Let's think here. First of all, let me just double check, because usually it's just like rook takes e6, yeah, but I really don't see what we're doing after rook takes c3. That just looks like we're down a lot of material. Okay, so let's see. Now, again, with these things, it's often about elimination, yeah? So you're trying to figure out which one is not working, and then that might clue you in as to which one is working, yeah? Because here again, we have three options, but if we can eliminate two of them, and then we can't eliminate the third one, even if we're not like 100% convinced about the third one, okay, the other two clearly lose, so you have nothing to think about anyway. Now here, my problem with either of these moves actually is queen d4 check, yeah? Trading off the queens, knight takes d4, and then I don't really see how black is winning there. Rook e1, rook f1. And this is very nice and logical, because if this is a problem, then I can just eliminate both of these moves, and I can safely play king h6, because I don't really see a problem with king h6. Okay, so now let's switch gears. Let's try to refute this one. Let's try to refute king h6, because right now I don't really see an issue, but of course if I find one, then that would be good to know ahead of time. All right, but king h6, it's white to play then. We're threatening rook e1, for example, winning the queen. If white takes, then queen takes e3 with check. That just looks super dangerous for the open white king. So yeah, I'm not really, I was hesitating because I didn't want to put the king on the diagonal, but I don't really see how white can really take advantage here. All right, and so yeah, I don't really think there's a reason to just walk into this like discover check for yeah, kicks and giggles. All right, so let's play king h6, and we're gonna take this one. And okay, yeah, let's pause here because like both of these moves looks like they could be winning, but there's a queen c1 check in the position, guys, that we have to be aware of. Yeah, so queen f2 feels a little bit more tempting. So queen c1, we can go rook d2 and just shield it off and then get ready to mate on h2. Now I just want to make sure we don't have any. I'm surprised there's only one win. It seems like any reasonable move would be winning for black. White's king just looks so open. So maybe we're missing something. Hold on. Queen f2. Queen f2, there's queen g1 actually, so yeah, maybe I want to be a little bit careful here, make sure I'm not missing something, because rook e2 is also a very tempting move. And actually feels a lot stronger on first glance than this. Queen f2 is my instinct, but yeah, actually queen g1, I don't really see something obvious there. But rook e2, rook e1 looks painful for white, like really painful. No checks, rook e1 coming. Yeah, at this point, I think we can just convince ourselves that this is good. Okay, knight f4, very scary. Let's give rook e1 check, and hopefully we don't have to play out that in game. All right, let's see. We have rook h8 check in the position. And there's king a7. Let's see. This king feels extremely precarious, but where's the actual mates? Rook a8 check, king to b6. We have a check on e6, but there's c6 in response. So let's see. Check, king a7. We also have queen a8 check, king b6, rook b8, king a5. All right, so let's try to figure this one out. So check, check, king b6, queen e6, check. Trying to take on a6, but there's c6. All right, so I think we have to approach this from a different angle. Literally, rook h6 check, king a7, queen a8 check, king b6, and then rook h6 check in that position. And then black can't defend on the third rank. Yeah, so check. Checks with the rook weren't working, but this one and then this one looks good as both pieces keep control over c6. So c6, white just takes, and then queen a6 or rook a6 at the end. All right, let's put it on the board. Rook f6, brilliant defense. Missed that one. Let's take. Okay, looks like game over anyway. D takes e5. Black to play. Yeah, definitely not easy to solve super fast and spoil for everyone anyway. Okay, D takes e5. A little bit weird. Our queen is under attack. And kind of feels like we have to take this pawn back. I'm not really seeing any fancy queen takes f3 options. Knight takes c3 maybe, but then e takes f6. Looks like we're just losing the queen. So knight takes e5 definitely feels tempting. And yeah, so then if knight takes d5, I think we can just take on f3 with check. And looks like white's king is in huge danger there. So, yeah, I'm not seeing the puzzle, to be honest. Knight e5 takes. There's queen takes e5 with a little double attack. So okay, let's take on e5 and see what we get. Maybe white will try knight takes e4, but we can take on f3. I'm sure we have something there. Okay, knight takes e5 played. And now queen takes e5 and bishop takes e5 look like the main options. Let's make sure that queen e5 is good here. Looks good. It's threatening mate. It's threatening the knight as well. So that looks good. If bishop takes e5, it feels less clear because if knight takes d5, for example. And then white can maybe take the knight or something. I mean, yeah, it just doesn't look nearly as nice. Okay, let's take this one. f4. And all right, looks like we're just taking the piece. Unless there's something else, let's just be careful. Maybe bishop takes d5. Maybe this is scary. Don't really believe it. We always have that rook on a1. Yeah, so let's take. And we're taking. Okay. Oh boy, next one. Knight d3 check. Well, yeah, so for weird puzzles like this, I try to just first start just the most obvious, like queen takes d3. Let's try to figure out what happens here. We're threatening queen a3 mate in that position. So queen takes d3. I guess king a2 black has to play. And we're down a lot of material with the queen, yeah, so it's important that we don't let black escape here. I mean, if we don't take the knight, it's very strange because what else are we doing, right? If we move the king away, then we're not mating the black king. The black knights just come in and we don't have anything. Yeah, so it definitely feels like we should take the knight. Then I think we're going to see king a2 because every other move just leads to mate pretty much. If queen takes d3, knight b4, then there's queen c3 check and queen b2 mate. It's kind of important to notice. Let's see, so takes king a2. Don't have king c2 there because of knight b4. Do we have anything else? There is queen c2 check, king a3, queen b2 check, king a4, queen takes b7, winning back some pawns, but nah, that doesn't look convincing at all. Knight to b4. No, it's not. That's no good. Okay, let's think here. Is there any reason to move the king? No. Then there's just no mate, no nothing. All right, so we got to take the knight. King a2, queen b1 check, king a3, then maybe king c2 there, king a4, king runs away. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm being very silly about this. So it takes king a2, maybe just quiet move queen c3, right? Like what are we talking about? what are we talking about here? And then what can black do? We can just pre-move queen b2. We literally pre-move queen b2. Okay, very good. So let's take and let's play here. Quiet but deadly.